Two. Hi, everyone. David
And Richard
and
here.
Ponson. We are taking refuge from broken air conditioning and heat here. But we did want to give you guys an update on what's happening. Maybe we can start with the tech side and then move on to a marketing discussion that we've seen
Yep.
on Red Square. Just share thoughts.
Yep.
So, tech side, we're working on the payment process with Web3 crypto. This is advanced to the stage of polling, where we've got the addresses and we're able to show people, send them here, QR codes, external wallets, and it's checking to make sure the balances arrived, and then making sure the fulfillment is taken care of.
Yeah, hell is other people's technology.
You've got Node installation update, right?
Yeah, so wanted to talk about the third-party nodes and where we are with getting people up and running with those. So thanks again to Saito Web3 for all his feedback, etc. We've basically taken that and we're doing three things in response. One is some simple changes to code structure just to make it easier to get your module in place if you're developing outside of the Saito stack and you want to just pull something in. Another one is I'll go and document the config in more detail in a way that will help just people understand mostly what they don't need to look at or change in the config file, because there's a lot of blockchain related stuff in there that doesn't need to be changed, shouldn't be changed, just so they know what to concentrate on, what's important, how to get things running. But most importantly, the other thing we're doing is we're creating a very simple script to get all the software in place and running and serving a simple web UI, so that we can basically have a Saito node that started and not doing anything. It's not connected to anyone. It's not making blocks, but it's got a little interactive GUI where you can go in and say what you want to do with it. So what modules you want to run, if any, what you want to connect it to, if you want to secure it with an SSL certificate, all those things.
I really like it. It reminds me of a lot of the like the Ruby on Rails frameworks and the Cake PHP frameworks, where you kind of get basics set up, and then once it's set up, it walks you through how to do the rest.
Right. Well, it's going to be really helpful, I think, for people who want to try it out and learn about it before they go and put it in a data center, or they want to run a node at home for a reason, or they want to get started with dev, as well as people will just be, probably 2 or 3 interactions before you've got something that's actually connected and syncing to the network. So really happy with that as a conclusion from essentially round 1 of working with people. We've got a few more people now who are connecting kind of manually because they're kind of up to speed with what they're doing, and they're getting more feedback to us as we're working on this iteration.
So, takeaway before marketing: if you want to sell NFTs, if you want to sell physical merchandise, if you want to sell a Shopify store of some sort, and you want to help us experiment with what's on staging, the faucet is up so that you can get the tokens to play around with it. We're looking for suggestions, not on UI polish. We know that stuff needs to change, but flow, what's missing, is there anything that really breaks it for a use case that you're interested in deploying? And then on the node runner side, come try setting up a machine, give feedback on that process.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the marketing. We wanted to talk a bit about the Red Square post because it was basically it was a discussion about like narrative. And we've got a lot of experience with narrative. I wrote a reply. It was very hot. It was not intended to be snarky. I don't know if that's how it came across.
The room was hot, not the reply. The reply was quite cool.
Okay. I think like we had a conversation about it afterwards, and what was good actually about writing that and going through that process is it really crystallized for me actually how I feel about narrative posts, which can be correct or incorrect, but it kind of repeatedly happens that we'll get things out and then people are happy for a little bit and then it's right back to narrative and it's like where is the AI shilling? We have experimented with a bunch of narrative messages. We've experimented with a bunch of different kind of reach out approaches, often very deliberately. So we have academic stuff, layman stuff. We've got film related.
I think people may not realize how often on calls we've sat and talked about experiences we've had at a conference with a KOL or with someone who's in the industry about how we tried to explain Saito and what grabbed them and what didn't.
We have also allocated resources to it. I mean, you guys have known like Muck and Tuco's doing some work. and
We had Nova and
all
Shirley.
that kind of
Yep.
stuff. So we do experiment. We give people, and we get hit up by a ton of other people as well who are like, do this, do this, do that other thing.
Yep.
So this is what we're looking for in narrative. If you are interested, we're experimenting for how things work so we can obviously improve what we're doing. We look at these kind of messages and we see how do they hit.
Yep.
And if you've got a suggestion on a kind of marketing or a kind of narrative that you'd like the project to do, the way to convince us is start experimenting with the flywheel and show us that you can get it moving a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that shows us that, okay, actually, this isn't just theoretical from somebody who doesn't necessarily know how it's going to be received, but they've picked up on something.
Well, if we see that, we get really excited. So if I here's someone talking about Saito and they're getting a really positive response, that really gets my attention. And where we've seen that in the past, we've put our back into supporting either lightly through retweets and stuff or on a bigger level. Because that's really what tells us.
There are two outcomes from seeing that process. The first is that the community can actually engage and promote and interact in that way without us needing to do anything.
Yep.
Right? Like, I don't think you guys realize a lot of the work and the experiments we do are individual. When I've got like a cash prize out for something, that's not the project money. That's just like me saying, I'm going to stand behind it and see, does this work? Does this get people's engagement?
Yeah.
But not only can the community do it, if we see that kind of stuff and we see it working, we will come in with support.
Yep.
Because of course we.
Yeah, I think a great example of that is DigiRock, GigaChad Siderson, who he really cares about open internet, the narrative of open internet, the ideas. He's active on that side of things. He set up Open Internet Society, which he's growing and getting support behind, and that is often making Saito talking points, and it's a great opportunity for me to come in and back up what's being said, or him to point out what Saito is doing, why PKI matters, why that's more important than a government digital ID, all sorts of things, right? So that's something I can totally get behind, and it has so many benefits. Like, it's its own individual thing, so it can grow. Alex can push it, and it's it's capable of growing all by itself. It's also not.
If you're listening, actually, make sure you just search for the Open Internet and you'll find it.
Look for Open Internet Society, follow it.
Yeah.
The other side of it is it's not the third thing Saito pointed out this week, right? It's not our brand that we're flipping between being AI coin and real world asset coin and all the other things that people sort of think maybe we should push that narrative. So it's got life, it's got power, and it's something people really care about. So it gets in a broader group of people than just pushing crypto narratives all the time. So that to me is a really classic, brilliant example of someone really doing that and doing it well.
So that's what's happening. We've got the asset store polling on third-party crypto payments. We're hoping to get that out soon. There's polish that's needed to all of those components.
Well, I think quickly, one thing you said that got me excited about this, and maybe one thing that shows people why it's not like a simple turn the handle job, is mentioning making the payment in third-party cryptos as a Saito component. I don't think people necessarily know what that means.
Oh yeah, it's part, you get it in, and so basically, if you're coding an app and you want to be collecting third-party cryptos, or let's say you've bought some Saito and you want to be selling it, you can set up an application that will do that, and basically you have the button that says buy. You will click the button, and you say Saito purchase component render, and then your payment flow is taken care of.
Yeah, it's basically. Devs add a little snippet to what they're building, and it gives you multi-cryptocurrency options.
We didn't mention it. So it's no longer part of the asset store. It's its own component that is plug and play and anything. Maybe we can figure out how to integrate it with video call. You got to pay me to get on the call or get on the Swarmcast.
Exactly where you're taking that, David.
Anyway, so that's the tech stuff. It's good to see the marketing and that kind of discussion on Red Square. Keep it up. And it's good to let you guys know what we're looking for. We'd like to see kind of less theoretical experimentation. We want to see how it lands with a couple of people at least. And if we can see some positive movement, we're happy to kind of come into it behind it. We hope the community does as well. So anything else? Or
no, I think we're good there. It's good to try and get these things tight. So Let's call it a
Okay.
day. And we'll
Okay.
see you
Any
all in Red
questions?
Square.
Comments? Come to Red Square.
Thanks, guys.